to my channel, guys. So for today's pattern, we're going to be making a princess seam variation. So instead of coming from the armhole, we're going to be going from the shoulder line. As you can see, I've already traced my block and we're going to begin. So just a couple of explanations before we start. These are the dot tips we have here. So this is one for the bust dart and this is the other tip for the waist dart. And as you can see, there's a mark I have made here as well. This is the bust apex. So basically this is where your nipple sits, okay? And when you draft your pattern, you would typically take 2.5 cm from this apex downwards for the bust dart, and then do the same thing for the waist dart. I've explained all of this in my how to draft a basic block video, so if you don't understand what I mean, you'll be able to get clarification in that video. So moving on to today's pattern, we're going to start by taking the full measurement of the shoulder. So whatever the width of your shoulder is, you'll need to get the midpoint. For me, I have 5 cm as my shoulder width, so it means my midpoint is 2.5, which is right here. What I'm going to do now is connect this 2.5 marker to this apex. So once you have this line drawn to the apex, we're now going to start with the waist dart and merge it to the apex. So connect your waist dart to the apex, starting from the dart legs. Repeat the same thing for the other side. And that's our waist dart merged to the apex. We're going to repeat the same step for this bust dart. We're just going to connect the tip of the bust dart to the apex. And there you have it, our bust dart is connected as well. Now, from the apex point, we're going to go upwards. So if you're making this in your size, you're going to go up by 2 inches. You also come down by 2 inches. Okay, so place your ruler on the apex and mark your 2-inch marker. Do the same thing at the bottom. So my 2-inch mark is here, but I need it to appear on both lines. So I've done this one. I'm going to do this one as well and just connect them. Okay, so 2 inch at the top, 2 inch at the bottom. All we need to do now is cut out this line. Okay, so we're going to slash through this line. We're also going to be eliminating the dots. That's the waist dart done. We're going to repeat the same thing for the bust. Okay, so just so I don't end up confusing you or myself, I'm just going to place this back, okay, and label this side front. Okay, side front. And we have our notches here, so good thing we have our notches so you don't get confused. I'll just darken this, or maybe I should make it with red, mark it with red. Our notches here, here, and here. Okay, so we know how to place the pattern. I'm going to take this bottom part out. So I'm going to put this to the side and then continue cutting this out. So that's the top of the side front right here. And we have our center front right here. Obviously, we're going to need the side front to be just one piece. Right now we have two. So that means I'll need to introduce fresh paper and place it underneath this pattern. So here we have our fresh piece of paper, which we're going to be needing to attach these two pieces back together. So starting with the bottom piece, I'm just going to place it and tape it down. Okay, so now that's secure, and we're going to take the top part and align it starting from the side. It's when you place them together, there's a little space right here. I'm just going to tape that down before it moves. And I'll tape it down and one more at the side, so just so I'm sure everything is secure. So now that our pattern is back to being whole, you'll notice that there's some ease here. I'm just going to shade this place so you can understand what I mean. So in here, there's some space. And this is not a bad thing, okay? We need this space because the breast is not flat, okay? So we need the ease here to make it well-rounded when the top sits on your bust. So if you remember, we made a 2-inch marker on the pattern before we cut it out. What you're going to do next is at this 2-inch point, you're going to come out by about 1/4 of an inch. So 1/4 of an inch. This just creates more ease for your bust to sit comfortably. I'm going to be marking my 1/4 of an inch now. Of course, mine is going to be smaller because this is a small pattern, but if you're making it for yourself, 1/4 of an inch is just fine. So I'm taking that all the way to this one, so the bottom 2-inch mark. As you approach the the bottom 2-inch marker, you need to blend, so take your line to blend with that line, that mark. So as you can see, I've just come in here, okay? And then to get a cinched waist at the bottom, we can come in, starting from this, the tip of the waist, we can come in a little and blend back to this mark as well. So you can use your curve and just take it from this 2-inch marker into the waist. Nothing too dramatic, just a slight curve. So this is now our new pattern. So this is the new side front line. We're going to blend this ease we've added all the way to the shoulder. So I'm going to cut it out so you can see the line I'm working with. Okay, so this is it, guys. So as you can see, there's extra ease here, which is going to make this pattern sit very nicely on the bust. For the center front, which is this part, you can also repeat the same steps. So take that curve on this part as well. That's our pattern. I'm just going to mark all the notches again so that when you're sewing it, you know where to match both pieces. All that's left to do now is add seam allowance everywhere. So on both pieces, you're going to add seam allowance everywhere, then sew them together. And this is our finished look, guys. So I've sewn just one side of the bodice and you can see the princess seam. Okay, so just a closer view, you can see the nice curve it has here. It's not too tight, yet there's no space under the bust, as you can see. So for a bigger bust, this will look even nicer. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.